quiet people are often invisible in a world that rewards noise, speed, and constant expression. Yet psychology shows that this invisibility is not weakness, but a deeply misunderstood form of power. Because human societies tend to equate strength with loudness, dominance, and immediate reaction, while overlooking the quieter strengths that develop through restraint, observation, patience, and emotional regulation. And this misunderstanding begins early in life, when children who speak less are labeled shy, passive, or lacking confidence, while those who speak more are praised as leaders. Even though research consistently shows that true leadership, resilience, and influence are built on clarity, consistency, and internal stability rather than volume. And quiet people naturally cultivate these traits because they spend more time listening than speaking, thinking than reacting, and understanding than performing, which gradually forms a psychological foundation that is extremely difficult to destabilize under pressure, as speaking less allows them to collect more information, notice subtle emotional cues, read body language, and detect patterns in social dynamics long before others recognize what is happening, making them highly perceptive and strategically aware, even if they never announce it. And this silent awareness becomes power because understanding always precedes control. And individuals who pause to reflect before acting are far more likely to make decisions that benefit them long-term rather than satisfying short-term impulses, which explains why quiet people often succeed slowly but sustainably, while louder personalities rise quickly and burn out just as fast. And another major strength of quiet individuals lies in their emotional independence, because they are less likely to tie their self-worth to constant validation, attention, or approval. And when a person's sense of value is internally anchored, it remains stable even in the face of criticism, rejection, or neglect, allowing quiet people to remain calm where others become defensive, reactive, or insecure. And this calmness is not emotional emptiness, but emotional mastery, as quiet people often feel deeply, yet choose carefully how and when to respond, which psychology identifies as emotional regulation, one of the strongest indicators of mental resilience. And people who can regulate their emotions are less likely to be controlled by fear, anger, envy, or insecurity, making them harder to manipulate and easier to trust. And trust is the foundation of influence, respect, and leadership, meaning quiet people often gain influence gradually, but in a way that lasts, because it is built on reliability and presence rather than performance. And presence itself is a powerful psychological signal, as a calm presence stabilizes environments, reduces tension, and communicates confidence without words. And psychology shows that in moments of uncertainty, people instinctively look for emotional anchors, often turning to those who remain composed when others panic. And quiet people frequently become these anchors even if they never seek authority. And their tolerance for solitude further strengthens them, because time alone encourages reflection, clarity, and self-awareness. And psychology confirms that intentional solitude enhances long-term thinking and self-trust, allowing quiet individuals to develop a strong internal dialogue that guides decisions without constant reliance on social reinforcement, making them less susceptible to trends, peer pressure, or emotional manipulation. And this internal consistency creates predictability of character, which people subconsciously trust more than loud expression. And in power dynamics, quiet people tend to move strategically rather than emotionally, using silence as a tool rather than a weakness, because silence creates space. Space creates uncertainty, and uncertainty shifts power, as people often project assumptions onto what they cannot read, underestimating the quiet individual and giving them freedom to observe without resistance. And when quiet people do choose to speak, their words carry weight because they are not diluted by constant noise. And psychology shows that people listen more attentively to those who speak less but with intention, associating restraint with confidence and clarity rather than fear. And another reason quiet people are secretly strong is that they avoid ego-driven conflicts, unnecessary competition, and validation games, conserving emotional energy for what truly matters, which allows deeper focus, mastery, and sustained growth. And this is why many highly skilled professionals, thinkers, and creators are quietly consistent rather than loudly visible, as competence eventually earns respect even without immediate recognition. And society often misinterprets delayed recognition as weakness, when in reality, it is evidence of strength that does not depend on applause. And one of the most important psychological truths about quiet people is that they are often misunderstood because calmness is mistaken for insecurity, silence for lack of opinion, and restraint for fear, when in reality insecurity is usually loud and reactive, while inner security is calm and selective. And quiet people typically fall into the latter category, allowing them to tolerate discomfort, failure, and uncertainty without losing their sense of self. And their capacity for deep listening creates emotional safety, making others feel seen and understood, which builds trust and influence without force. And psychology consistently shows that people are more influenced by those who understand them than by those who try to impress them. And over time, this quiet influence compounds, forming strong relationships, credibility, and respect. And the final psychological truth is that quiet strength is designed for endurance rather than display, as loud energy attracts attention quickly but fades just as fast, while calm strength builds slowly and lasts longer, becoming more stable and impactful with each experience. And history repeatedly demonstrates that many of the most influential individuals were not the loudest voices in the room, but the most grounded minds, proving that quietness is not absence, calm is not weakness, and silence is not emptiness, but a powerful force that takes time to be recognized, and once recognized cannot be ignored.